jumping back into the fray here with the JAKIB Draft Special presented by IBEW Local 98. And we are coming to you. What an unbelievable crowd. What an unbelievable night it is here at Ocean Casino Resort Topgolf. Just an awesome, awesome crowd here, that's for sure. We got Seth Joyner. We got Mark Farzetta. We have my man, Derek Gunn. I am Rob Ellis. Yes, we are hanging out with you. We are hoping to talk to Barrett Brooks, our partner from Sports Take, D-Gun, each and every day, 12 to 3 Eastern. Let's update the folks on some of the later picks that have gone down, guys, all right? I'll catch you up. Jahmyr Gibbs was a guy we talked about potentially for the Eagles, maybe at some point, right? That's not going to happen. He ends up going to the Lions.
I'm shocked he went that high.
That's high, man. 12?
I thought maybe mid-20s at the earliest.
Yeah.
And he's a smaller back. You know, if you're going to compliment a back like DeAndre Swift, you need somebody that can kind of soften up a defense.
Yeah.
Now, he's a home run hitter, no question about that. Smaller back, tough as nails.
Right.
But I was shocked that Detroit decided to go with a back. We knew they needed somebody after Jamal Williams. He had 16 rushing touchdowns last year.
Right.
But I was shocked. But then that's what the NFL draft is. There's always shock value, and there's a lot of shock value on this board.
Well,
right.
Robinson at 8.
Yeah.
And then you go to 4 picks later with another running
So
back.
I'm at top 12, 2 running backs.
Yeah.
Mark.
Just out of the gate like that. And then when we were talking about it earlier, when we were sweating that Detroit Lions pick,
That's right.
we were talking about potentially having that ground and pound style of offense and defense, of course, with Dan Campbell there in Detroit. And sure enough, that's the exact route that they end up going. They end up bolstering their ground game, give a little bit more break to their defense.
All right, so beyond that, guys, we go Lucas Van Ness, the edge. You know, he can move around that defensive line, that's for sure. He goes to Green Bay, Derek. I know you're very excited about that pick, so congratulations on that.
I thought he would be a low first-round pick at best, but that's what Green Bay does, man.
Did not start a game at Iowa, by the way.
No, he did not start a game.
Hey, listen, he was mocked to the Eagles at 10, and a lot of people's mocked.
You know what? That's why it's a mock, Seth.
Yeah, yeah, he made his
because
visit
most
too.
of the time those drafts are way off. Okay, the Green Bay went with 2 first-round picks last year.
See, I know how to stir him up.
Two.
Put the corner in.
Is this payback for all the times I didn't tag him?
Absolutely.
Do a pre and post game shows.
Absolutely.
That's
All right,
right.
you got me today because I got my brother and my cousins text me. What's he like? I said, pass. Next. I said, I can't talk about him right now.
Marvin Gunn is getting.
He's twisting
getting
the
you,
screws
man.
right now.
Okay.
Why would you not get Jordan Love some help in the pass catching? You have 2 young speedsters and Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, 2 guys who can go 4-3, 4-2. Why do you not get him another pass catcher? And what are the better offenses doing in the league?
Smith and Jigba.
You're and Jigba sitting right there.
Yeah.
Why would you not? They go out and get a part-time defensive end.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
All right, so beyond that,
They do
Broderick.
need some pass
Yeah,
rush.
Broderick Jones, the offensive lineman, goes number 14 to the Patriots. And then you have Will McDonald, who goes number 15, the linebacker to the Jets. Emmanuel Forbes, corner out of Mississippi State, goes to Washington.
Wait a minute. A linebacker went
Yes.
Yes.
in the top
Yes.
20?
Is that
Yes.
allowed, Seth?
Congratulations,
Seth, is that allowed?
I'm shocked.
We actually just had another one go, but I'll get to that in 1 second. So Christian Gonzalez, he fell pretty far, guys, to 17.
Yeah.
He ends up going to the hoodie. I mean, I'm shocked by that he lasted that long.
Well, you know what? The thing is, going to England is the perfect spot for him to
Right.
learn the NFL game in terms of what to look for. You know, say what you want to say about Belichick, and everybody's making fun about the fact his team's fallen off since they lost Tom Brady, but they still have good defensive players.
Yeah.
They're still one of the better defenses in the league. This is a perfect fit for him to make that transition. I expect this young man to emerge as a Pro Bowl type corner within the next couple of years.
Yeah.
You were off the set, and I said, you know what? It's amazing how all of these experts identified him as the premier corner on the board for a month. And all of a sudden, and you heard me talk about it on the show. I loved Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State.
Yeah, you did.
But the fact that Christian Gonzalez went 3rd behind Witherspoon and Forbes,
It's crazy.
I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here shocked.
I'll tell you, Seth, I really like this last pick that happened. The Lions strike again. They get Jack Campbell, the linebacker out of Iowa. I think that dude is a beast. He is a beast.
Well, listen, there's no doubt about it. I was shocked, that they didn't take, Jalen Carter, to be honest with you. But, listen, that kid can fly, and he's all over the field.
He's big, too.
And it matches with what they like to do on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They need players. They need more players on the defensive side to get them up to speed. I mean, they need players all over the place, but they're coming.
Yeah.
That
Detroit's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to be a problem. And Seth, I share your shock that he wasn't available later in the draft, unfortunately, for the Eagles.
Yeah, right.
I mean, look at it. Even by the Eagles' standard, this is ignoring linebackers.
Yeah.
Like, this is ignoring linebackers, even by the Eagles' standard of ignoring linebackers. Like, this is even extreme for them.
Yeah.
So you have a guy like this that was this talented. I'm very surprised to see him go at 18, especially you mentioned his speed, you mentioned his quickness, and his power is just what made him as good as he was at Iowa. So I thought there would be an opportunity there. Early second round, maybe with the 30th pick, the Eagles might be able to get a guy like that. I still think they're going to be focusing on safety if they do make a pick at 30. But this is a pick that I thought the Eagles were going to be eyeing
so
at least a little bit.
Let me throw this out at you. See, you got Saleh and Campbell, who really understand the importance, of defense because they're defensive coaches.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what they also understand too is that I don't care how good of a defensive front you put together, you got to have at least one linebacker because you're normally a 4-2. If you're not into some sub package where you only got one linebacker on the field and you're in some dime package, but you only got one. You got to have one linebacker out of the two that's normally on the field that's off the ball. One of them has got to be a hellraiser.
Seth, how worried are you about the Eagles?
I'm
setup
worried.
Here? Yeah.
I'm worried because you know what? As good as those guys play up front, they can only hold off double teams so much. The linebackers got to make plays. T.J. Edwards was a tackling machine. For me, that's important, but also as a linebacker, you got to be a playmaker too.
Yeah.
I need to see some sacks in there. I need to see some
interceptions,
strip fumbles, and some interceptions and some recovered fumbles. You got what, 2.5, 3 sacks between the two linebackers last year, no interceptions.
Right.
In a 20-game season, you need more production out of that position. And I think that's the one thing that Howie, if there's one area where I think that Howie really undervalues more than any other position on the field, it's the linebacker position.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think it's wrong. And I think that if they could get a guy that could be a difference maker, he would see how much of a difference that would make, from a defensive perspective. It would take the defense to another level.
Yeah. All right. We got another pick in. The Tampa Bay Bucks have selected Kalijah Cansey, the defensive tackle who we referenced a little bit earlier out of Pitt.
Another good player.
Maybe a little bit undersized, but we've heard that before for defensive tackles coming out of Pitt who have done pretty well. That's a good pick by the Bucks. That is a nice, at 19, nice value pick out of Tampa Bay. I like that.
Well, their defense was somewhat of a sieve last year. They had a lot of problems on offense. The defense was a sieve. In Tampa Bay, they love their defensive players, and I'm not surprised they took Cansey.
All right, let's go to our partner that we hang with each and every day, 12 to 3 on Sports Take. Derek Gunn, myself, and Barrett Brooks. Barrett joins us from the Wells Fargo Center. So, Barrett, we haven't had a chance to talk to you about this, but the Eagles, it really played out well from a board perspective. They made the little jump to get up from 10 to 9, and they select Jalen Carter. They get their man, Barrett. Just your reaction to that.
This is unbelievable. I can't believe it was able to happen, man. You could have bought me with a box of peanuts that we got Jalen Carter, the best player arguably in this draft. I can't believe we were able to do it. But once I saw things starting to, go the way it were, especially with the Texans going in and having the next 2 picks, getting C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. But what really took me by surprise was the fact that Seattle took Devin Witherspoon.
Yep.
And once that happened, everything just fell into place. So, I can't believe we got him for a 4th rounder and a 1st rounder. I appreciate the and their love in giving us this great player, man.
Hey, Barrett, was that 5th pick where you started to get really nervous?
Well, yeah. Actually, I was. As soon as I hit Seattle, I'm like, all right, they're definitely getting a defensive lineman. Their defense was porous, and they needed somebody to help stop them. Stop the run, stop the pass. But then they went with Witherspoon. They didn't even go with Gonzalez, who I thought was the best corner in the draft. They went with Witherspoon. And then things started to fall into place. Vegas went with Tyree Wilson. Biggest surprise to me is that I love Kyler Murray. He's the one that told them to pick Paris Johnson.
Yeah, that's right.
He's been screaming that for the past month.
Seth called that one. Yeah.
And made it happen.
Mm-hmm. Barrett, you watch a lot of film on everybody, and I know how much film you poured over with Jalen Carter. So for Eagles fans who maybe didn't see a lot of Georgia football, can you tell us a little bit about what he brings to the table and how diverse his game is?
He's just an explosive player. Plays well with technique, has a high motor, gets up the field, plays with athleticism, has great change of direction, overpowers most guards in the league. This kid is good, and I can't believe we picked him up at the number 9 pick. I thought he was like a unicorn of this draft. There was no way we were going to be able to get him because I thought that all the defensive teams that, were looked in front of us, like the Arizona Cardinals, Vegas, Seattle, they were going to get him because he was the next defensive lineman that's going to be picked up after Anderson. But the mere fact that we were able to get this and make this happen, of course we had to give up a 4th rounder for next year. And we have 12 picks next year. Now we just traded 2 of those picks. We have 10 picks. There was no way we were going to be able to get all those picks on the roster anyways. There's not enough spots. So, it's just a perfect opportunity for the Eagles to get an inside guy. Now I'm just worried about who's going to play where now, because this kid is definitely going to play. Does he take Fletcher's spot? Does he take Davis's spot? Who gets less time? This is really a great problem to have that type of player competing and iron sharpening iron, and they getting ready for next year.
Oh, don't worry about where he's gonna play, B. You just know he's gonna play. Make the comparison for me, because I know that we got to give him some time to grow in the pro game. But make the comparison about what he offers and what he brings to the table, opposed to what we lose in Javon Hargrave.
Well, what you have is a guy that does both well. He can stop the run and rush the pass. See, that was the only thing Hargrave lacked in, his ability to go out there and stop the run. That's why he had so much. He couldn't stop the run. Well, this kid has.
He didn't want to play the run.
Get up. Say it again.
I said he didn't want to play the run.
Bro, what you always say that playing defense is want. He didn't want to play the run. He didn't want to stop the run. This kid will stop the run. Look at his change direction. Look how he uses his body and he contorts his body into position where he can give less of his body, throw a guy off of him, and go make a play getting up the field, jetting up the field. Reminds me a lot of kind of like the way Warren Sapp kind of plays. I think he's a little more athletic than Warren. This kid is good.
Let's unpack the idea of who gets what snaps here for a second, Barrett. And I want to talk to Barrett Brooks, the former offensive lineman here. What do you least want to see line up in front of you if you're an offensive lineman and you're seeing guys like Fletcher Cox and you're seeing guys like Jordan Davis, and now you're seeing Jalen Carter, and you got a couple of guys off the edge too that are pretty good at getting the quarterback. Who do you least likely want to see going up against you as an offensive lineman?
Well, at this point, Fletcher's still Fletch. He's still got, when he wants to play, it's hard. You're hard pressed to have him, somebody block him one-on-one. But this kid, I don't think you can block one-on-one. With him learning from Fletcher Cox, learning how to really get penetration up the field, rushing the passer, he can be unique in the aspect that he can play on all 4 downs, as opposed to, sometimes Fletch has to go out on certain plays. He can continue to play. All that not being in shape, for the offset, that's not going to happen. They'll make sure that he's going to be ready to play. But I don't want to play against this guy because the way he plays, how big he is, and how explosive he is getting up the field.
Hey, Barrett, you heard me mention it on Sports Take earlier today when I told you that somebody had just texted me and said, if they take Jalen Carter, he will play more than Jordan Davis, and then the Eagles will have some explaining to do. Do you think he will be on the field more than Jordan?
Absolutely, because I think Jordan Davis is going to be more of a situational player. He's just going to be on first and second down run downs. This kid will play every single down. Like I said, he can play all 4 downs. He can play on first and second down, stopping the run. He can rush the pass on 3rd down. He can stop him on 4th and short. He's the total package as far as being an every down player on the field. And plus, I think he gives more effort than even Hargraves on the field. And I know he'll give a better effort in a run. Like I said, he was my unicorn in this draft simply because I didn't think we were going to have an opportunity to get him.
Yep. But
he fell to us. And Howard Rosen made the trade, made it happen. I guess somebody wanted the reason why they traded just that 1 pick. Somebody probably gave him wanted to give him a 6 in their first rounder in order to get the deal accomplished. Well, Howard Rosen said, "Look, you can have one of our 4th round picks," and he made that deal happen.
Degon, I don't know that there's explaining to do. You just pick this kid with the 9th pick overall. You picked Jordan Davis with the 13th pick overall last year.
Right.
I've been saying all along there was a year off. Because for me, Jalen Carter would have been the guy that I would have picked last year, and maybe to satisfy that 121 yards that you're giving up every game, I go and I take Jordan Davis this year. But it's pretty apparent, and they can say what they want to say, but when you have a guy like Jalen Carter who can play every down, who can be a factor in the run game and a factor in the pass game, it's not a situational player. It's not just a first and second down run stopper. He's a difference maker, and no matter how they try to spin it, it's just how it happened to fall. Jordan Davis just happened to be a year before him.
True.
Hey, Steph.
Yeah.
You know who reminds me of a guy you played with? You remember Swan?
Yeah, Eric Swan. All this. Yeah, I was just with him last week. Yeah.
Doesn't he kind of remind you of his build and his explosiveness?
Yeah, I just hope that his mentality is not like Swan, because Swan played when he Swan kind of was like Fletcher, man. He played when he wanted to. If he didn't want to, he shut it off. But when he wanted to, you couldn't stop him.
He didn't play in college, right?
So, no,
he did.
But the thing about this Jalen Carter kid, I mean, all the film that you see on him, I mean, there's just no quit in him. I mean, every play is an explosive play. And to Barrett's point, we were talking about it early, he is just a technician in the run game. Like, you don't see that a lot. Most guys are trying to pick an edge or trying to get up the field. I mean, he'll hit you right in the mouth, and fall back in the gaps where he's supposed to be when he's out of position. He'll dominate you and put you in the hole and squeeze the hole off and make you bounce to him. Listen, he's a complete deal, man.
But see, Seth, the only reason.
Seth, you know what? You're right about that, and that's exactly what I was trying to dictate to people. There's certain guys like taking on a double team, and as an offensive lineman, I'll take half, and another guy will take half. But some guys can read that double team and see who's trying to get off and who's not. He will read who's trying to get off and force his way back into the gap. He doesn't just run around the block. He'll fight, get back into the play, and keep that linebacker free because he kind of back into the block.
He kind of leans and leverages into where the guy's trying to get off. So even if he's out of position, he falls back into his gap. And people don't understand how important gap football is. When you get double teams, like one guy is trying to get you head up or trying to get across your face in order to get the other guy off the double team so he can get up on the next level. Right. He doesn't allow you to do it. He stays in the gap. No matter what happens, he'll stay in the gap. So when that guy does have to get off, he falls right in the gap.
Barrett, final thoughts, man. We're going to wrap this thing, but what are you thinking here at 30 if they do stay put? You got any guess position-wise?
I think we should go ahead and finish up with this Georgia connection. Maybe we can trade up and get Nolan Smith if he hasn't come off the board.
Okay. I like it. Barrett.
Hey, Barrett, real quick. I got to give you kudos. I love to rib you, but I got to give you kudos, man. You were on Bijan Robinson going in the top 10, and sure enough.
He called it exactly. He called it the Falcons. You were right on the money, man.
I heard it from a little birdie, man, but I tell you what, man, they got a hell of a player, man. But, I mean, we got the gem of the draft, man, in Jalen Carter. We got the gem of the draft.
Love it. Barrett, great, man. We're looking forward to hanging with you tomorrow at noon on Sports Day. Appreciate you giving us a couple minutes, man.
Can't wait.
All right, B. All right, we appreciate it. That is Barrett Brooks. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, guys, we'll get a quick timeout here, and when we come back, we will continue. We're getting close. We're up to 21 now. So the Eagles are picking at 30. This thing's moving fast and furious. So we'll update you on everything that's happening. And guess what, Gunner? We have a chef coming up.
What? More food?
We might lose Barrett for the rest of the show. It's distinctly possible.
More samples?
You ain't getting no more food tonight.
See that, Seth?
No samples?
Exactly.
Nothing?
You'll get something. Don't worry. We
dessert? Something?
We'll get you a little something. I know. I know how to.
I
know how to keep
Twinkie?
Going. Trust me. All right, we'll do that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Seth, Mark, Derek, I am Rob. We are the JAKIB Special presented by IBEW Local 98, live from Ocean Casino Resort. Top Golf. We'll be right back.